continue through Sunday, expect more than a foot of new snow.
You are looking live.
Welcome to the Lynn Dickey Show. First off, if you made it to Lambeau Field and sat through this one, a sincere congratulations, you have guts. If you stayed home and watched it on TV, congratulations, you have brains. Lynn didn't have a choice, and he's here with us tonight, along with offensive tackle Greg Cook. Joe will have the highlights. We've got a feature, but first, let's get right to it. Lynn, last year against Denver, you had a great game in the snow. You go out here today, you had a great game in the snow. Come on, what is it? What's the secret?
Well, I don't know what the secret is. I guess if I had to put my finger on anything, you get time to throw the football under those conditions. And last year in Denver, first of all, it's very difficult for the defensive lineman to get any footing, although it didn't seem to bother Alfonso Carricker today. He did an excellent job, but, you know, it starts right there is my point. And I got good time to throw the football, and after that, it's just mind over matter. And, you know it's a miserable condition, and, you know, nothing you can do about it. You can cry, but no one cares, so you just go play.
What about the fact that you practiced up here? I know it helped somewhat, but did it help maybe more than we even realized, you guys practicing out in there? It was even colder during the week in practice than it was today.
Our Wednesday practice was very cold, and it was a lot colder than it was today. The footing was probably just as bad that day also, because when we were practicing down at the Oneida Street practice field, the field was frozen, and you couldn't really stand up, and it was similar to what it was today, although I think today was probably a little better footing. But I don't think you ever get prepared or get yourself really in the mood to play in, you know, a foot of snow. There's just no way to practice for that.
Okay, we'll take a look at one of the first big plays that led to the scoring drive. Pass to Kaufman over the middle, and you really, I don't know, this seemed to be the play that really sparked things.
Well, this play, Paul was actually, you know, he told me right after this, he'll probably get chewed out tomorrow when we watch the films. He was supposed to run a corner pattern, but as he was going down the field, he said he looked to the middle and just saw that it was wide open. Then he just drifted to the middle of the field, and I was scanning the field, and I saw him come into vision, and so I just drilled it to him.
He's another one of those guys that has fun in this kind of weather.
He seems to come to the top in the messy, muddy, miserable days. Yeah.
Okay, we'll take a look at some more plays in just a second, but you know, the Buccaneers must have thought they had a lot of fans in the stands. They came out and saw everybody dressed in orange. But even if the deer hunters were pulling for the Bucs, they wouldn't have been able to make much noise because the Packers just put new meaning into that term, home field advantage.
The way to stay warm in a game like today is to just run around and try to knock the heck out of somebody.
If that's the case, then the Packers stayed toasty all day long, but it might have something to do with what happened during the week. The Bucs practiced in 80-degree weather. The Packers had to put on every pair of long underwear they could find.
It really wasn't anything different other than the heavy snowfall than we've worked out. You know, there were days earlier this week that the conditions were actually worse because it was colder and the ground was frozen solid.
Being from Wisconsin, I'm a little bit more partial, I guess, but you know, temperature-wise, it was just fine, and the only problem really was the wind. Sometimes you couldn't see the other guy on the opposite side of the field sometimes when the wind kicked up, but other than that, it was just fine.
This is sort of weather that would normally ground a passing game, but for some reason, the Packers just seem to thrive on it.
I just felt that Lynn would be able to throw that ball. I've seen him in practice too many times when it's real cold like this, even with that. Going back to the game last year when we played out in Denver, I felt that Lynn could throw the football.
He threw it 36 times, 22 completions for 299 yards, but the Packers also did exactly what they wanted to do on the ground. 232 yards rushing. Gary Ellis had 101 of them, 35 on this touchdown run in the third quarter to make it 14-0.
I think I played my best games in the bad weather, the snow and the rain and the mud. It's just a matter of the mind, really. You know, today was cold. Wind was blowing, you couldn't hardly see, but I use that as an advantage to me.
But Ellis wasn't the only mutter. Eddie Lee Ivory had the biggest game of all, 109 yards. Both players completely outclassing the very classy James Wilder.
No, it wasn't an advantage because I was practicing on it, and he wasn't able to practice, and so therefore he couldn't run on it.
Defensively, it was a mismatch. The Bucs' running game never got off the ground, and Alfonso Carricker was in Steve Young's face all day long. The Bucs with just 65 yards in total offense compared to 512 for Green Bay. But Forrest Gregg also laid out a few compliments for the 20,000 or so who showed up to watch.
It was amazing. Came out there, and you'd have thought there were 60,000 people out there, the way they were yelling. And you see all those orange suits out there. They got back just in time from deer hunting to come to the ball game. But, you know, those are our people and our type of people.
Coming up, Lynn and I will go over some of the big key plays when the Lynn Dickey Show continues.
The Lynn Dickey Show is brought to you by Keller Tire in Fond du Lac, Baumgart Tire in Appleton, your 7 Cadillac professionals, and Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you.